Something tells me this is not original.
Hello, Happy.
Happy doesn't look too happy. Happy, you look like you're going to cut everybody up.
Give us a smile, Happy.
Smile.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to this very beautiful southern city of Dunedin. Perhaps the most southern of Scottish cities in the entire world. Founded in 1848 when two great ships sailed up the harbour here, bringing on that occasion not tourists, but settlers, all the way from Scotland, and with them they brought customs, traditions, their ideas, their ways of life. And naturally the very first thing of consequence that they built was what? Haggis. What do you think's inside this thing? Not just any old church, of course it was 1848, these were God-fearing people. Not just any old church either, a great. Have you had a chance to walk around today? See some of the sights and stuff? Oh, well, you might have seen it on your travels down in Moray Place. First church, as it is affectionately known, as being the first great church. But if you were down here, you would have noticed a wonderful statue of
Robbie.
Scotland's greatest lyric of man. And if you were even more observant, you would have noticed he sits with his back to the church. Rather apt. For throughout his life, well, Burns and the church didn't have a particularly harmonious relationship. Very different views of reality under each other too. But even more apt, from where he sits, Burns can see 14 pubs. Exactly the way Burns was at birth. And in keeping with their great love of learning and education, that's a clue. The second great thing they built when they came here, these wily Scots, was what? That's not a bad guess. You can do better than a school.
University.
Yes. New Zealand's premier university and its finest. Just 20 years after the founding of the city. Think about it, when they arrived here, nothing much more than an old sealer's station. 20 years later, the beginnings of breaking news. And the third great thing they built, and there was a third great thing,
Haggis.
don't build a house.
Yeah, that can build that. The railway.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
The pub.
We've done the pub, we've done the university. What's the third thing?
A hospital. City.
A distillery.
Ah.
These are Scots, for heaven's sakes. Wilson's famous whiskey distillery of Dunedin. Why was it famous? Because it produced a whiskey so fine. Blind tasting, some very learned men from Scotland. But truly, my cock here had to be very creative indeed. Even in times of famine, not just in times of plenty, but when things were scarce, still had to keep the chief's table well stocked with all the many delicacies of Highland cuisine. See, you never knew who might be turning up to dinner. What important alliance or rested on what happened at that occasion. Oh, yes. The cockheir's responsibility was a very heavy one indeed. And tonight, we're expecting big things from that. Our cockheir is carried. Give her a big hand. Now last, and certainly by no means least, comes Helios Gabar. Perhaps the chief's most trusted servant of all, a figure of almost mystical proportions in the Highlands. Someone who was very popular, someone who knew lots of people, someone who knew how to throw a good party. And even Highland chiefs from time to time needed a friendly shoulder to cry on when things are not quite going their way, as does happen. And who better to keep the chief's spirits up when they were down than his Uskabar. And tonight, our Uskabar, all the way from Brooklyn. Jim, give him a big hand. And after the Haggis, Burns wasn't impressed at all. He felt that there was nothing on the menu that was Scottish. State dinner, for heaven's sakes. Not only that, but, well, he wasn't impressed with his hosts. He felt that they were fundamentally out of touch with the ordinary Scots, not knowing what they wanted or perhaps even cared. And, well, what Burns did was something very clever, but a little bit naughty too. You see, he allegorized the food in his poem. Upon first encounter with the poem, it appears to be a poem extolling the culinary virtues of this unique dish. Upon closer inspection, you see that in fact it is a critique of his hosts and all their pretension that he compares the foreign food with the haggis. It doesn't compare too well. All the foreign food, well, it's wet and it's watery and insipid, sploshing around, insipid. Came to stand for his hosts, a bit like his hosts. Haggis, however, this came to stand for all good things Scottish, the very picture of strength, self-reliance, nourishing, delicious, sustaining dish. Good, solid, standalone dish. And, well, you know, to top it off, Burns didn't compose it in English, but in his own tongue. Not Gaelic, for he's a Lowlander. He didn't speak any Gaelic. Scottish, an ancient dialect of Anglo-Saxon, which has strange sounding words. Words like sonsy for cheerful. Sonsy face, Burns called it, his wonderful, warm, welcoming countenance of the haggis. Comparing that to the haggis. Needs no assistance of any kind. Good, solid, standalone dish. And, well, as if to add insult to injury, he didn't even address the poem to his hosts. He addressed it to the haggis itself, as being the only thing in the room that night Burns felt was truly representative of things Scottish. He did it like this. Fair, for your honest sonsy face, great chieftain of the Puddingers. Abundamore, ye take your place, perched right with her. Well are ye rewarded your grace, Miss Lensman. The groaning trencher, there ye fill your hard days like a distant hill. Your pin, what helped to mend a mill in time of need, while through your pores the juice was still like amber. His knife, she rustic leader. Cut you up with ready slate, which means with great skill.
Oh, right.
It's a circumcision.
She's been practicing. I think we'll leave it there. Cut you up with ready slate. Trenching your gushing end. Honey ditch. Then, oh, what a glorious sight. Warm, wicked, rich. Then horn for horn they stretch and strive. He'll take the hindmost on, they drive till, their well-swelled kites will fly bent like drums. And our guide man makes light a ride. But thank you. Is there that, his French ragout, or olio, or sauerkraut, or fricassee, what make her spew with perfect scum. Look down with sneering, scornful view on Scanner. Poor devil, see him all his trash, as feckless as a withered rash. His spindle shank a gate whiplash, as neave and nut, through bloody flood or field to dash. Oh, how unfit. But mark, the rustic haggis fed. That trembling earth resounds his tread. Clapping his willy neither blade, he'll make a whistle. Yeah! And that's how they do it in the Taiwanese Air Force. Just and legs and arms and heads will snap like taps of crisp. Ye powers, why make mankind your care? And dish them out their bill of fare. Old Scotland wants nae skinking ware of their jobs and money. But if you wish her grateful prayer, give her haggis. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the famous haggis. Now, in honor of a chief, the haggis must be toasted. Toast, well, it's as always, with Uscabar, whiskey. When the whiskey is handed out, however, the first to get it every time is the pipe. Why? Because once upon a time their status was so great in the Highlands. Well, unfortunately, during the Highland clearances, a very dark time in Highland history, the chiefs lost much of their wealth. For centuries they had kept many of their retainers, such as the pipers, fed them, clothed them, looked after them. Overnight almost, they were destitute, all dressed up and no place to go in the Highlands. All of a sudden they were expected to earn a living like everybody else. Trouble was they'd never been taught to do anything else. They were musicians, artists, sensitive types. People took pity on them, gave them a place to stay for a night or two. A good hearty meal, send them on their way. Sometimes even some money, mostly to go away. And over time it became a tradition to pay pipers with a dram of scotch. Now, scotch was a celebratory drink, kept for very important occasions and distinguished guests. Pay a piper with scotch. It's huge praise indeed. So, it's said even to this day, when you hear the spill of the pipes, reach for your whiskey and pay the piper. Jim, here's what you want.
No appointment.
Gotta get a close up of this face.
I'm going to do something Burns would never have done. Let us to teach you a few words of Gaelic. He was a lowlander, didn't speak any Gaelic. But in honour of a chief, the toast is always in Gaelic. And the toast is Slangiva, which means
We
say Slangiva.
That's right, you do.
I think we're good. I'm sure.
He was supposed to tell you, but he usually doesn't. Now, let's have a wee practice. Because although the accent was not bad there, the volume was better.
Yes.
Let's try it. If I say Slangiva, you reply?
We say Slangiva.
You don't do the we say, but you just say Slangiva. Let's try again. Slangiva.
Slangiva.
May the best you've seen be the worst you'll ever see. May a mouse ne'er leave your pantry with a teardrop in his eye. May you all be hale and hearty until the very day you die. And may you also be just and happy, as we wish you always to be. Slangiva!
Slangiva.
Now I'm going to hand you each a wee certificate so you can prove to your friends and relations it's not just an idle boast you took part in this ancient ceremony. And also a wee dram to take away.
Now you're talking business.
As I do this, Gary's going to play us some of his top numbers. So listen up.
Wonderful.
We might play again before. We've piped the haggis in, give us a hand to pipe it out. Make your way down the stairs and in through the restaurant. Enjoy your meal, and most important of all, enjoy the rest of your time in this beautiful country. Thank you.
Thank you very much.